What's up, Schmoedown fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
Star Wars competitor Nicki
Well,
Dimalanta.
you know, we'll see.
Come on.
Probably, maybe. We'll
Maybe.
see.
So, sorry, we're getting cracked up over here out of a comment that one Christian Harloff made on your Twitter.
We're recording this.
We're recording this on a Tuesday.
Because we were like, hey, man, whatever. There's no matches. We can record whenever we want this week.
And I commented to Bibiani. He was like, yeah, I'd like to be on your show. And we'd love to have you on, Bibs. I would love to have you on again. But I told you in our little meetings, it's like, God, our schedule's so loose. We sometimes...
Bibs, I got an idea, baby. We'll talk on stereo. I got an idea.
Let's talk about it right now since we want to
Oh, okay. Why not? Okay, so my idea...
Go ahead.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, do it.
My idea, I mean, you know, I don't mean to commit you to anything. It's not like it's like we got to do this every week.
Yeah.
You know, it's whatever. It's just, you know, whenever it kind of happens. But there's a standing joke, and I've told the story maybe a couple times now on this podcast, I think, about, you know, how Andrew and his younger brother and one of his best friends, they had a joke when we were dating about how I've seen basically no movies, you know, in comparison to normal people. You know, they would always say oh, well, you've seen this movie? I'm like, definitely not. Have you seen this movie?
I mean, you've seen the big name ones.
I've seen
The Godfathers,
your normal stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
To normal people.
But anyways, yeah.
But anyways, I feel like 75 to 80% of the time they talk about a movie, they'd be like, you seen that one, Nikki? I'd be like, nope. And it would be this running joke. And then you know, leading up to, then we got engaged, leading up to our wedding, they made a joke oh man, each of us should come up with a list of movies that Nikki should watch prior to the wedding. You're marrying Andrew. He's a movie guy, right? You gotta see, how can you not watch movies when you're marrying Andrew? And I'm like, I don't know. He loves me? Jesus. But, you know, as my luck would have it, all three of them, I thought they were joking. Next thing you know, all three of them, emailed me a list.
We all had a list of 5.
5 movies each. I wish we still had those movies. And I wish we still had those emails.
Star Wars was on the list, too.
Star Wars...
It was Star Wars and then 5 other movies that we all thought of.
5 movies for Andrew, his younger brother, and his best friend. And on top of that was Star Wars. And the stipulation for Star Wars was you had to pay attention, Nikki. And I went, oh, no. Because I definitely watched them with my eyes, but I don't know if I really paid attention. So it was this big old thing that you got to watch all these movies before the wedding day.
Your face was present, but
it's like
your
a
mind
prerequisite
wasn't.
to get married to Andrew because he's a movie guy. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Say I won't.
Yeah.
And then I did, and I watched all the movies and whatever. But I said to Andrew, wouldn't it be funny if we had, you know, every so often, it could be irregular, it doesn't matter. Bibiani,
a 30 to 45 minute conversation with Bibs.
You know, Bibiani's seen, I don't know, every movie in existence, especially compared to me. Wouldn't it be funny if we, you know, talked about how, you know, I haven't really seen
go
many
through the list of movies that you've
and
seen.
go through the list, you know, mention some of my favorite movies, and then he can get a feel for me as a moviegoer, and I use that term very loosely, and he can get a feel, and then wouldn't it be fun if every subsequent, every so often, irregular, whenever it happens, episode was Bibiani went, oh, okay, I recommend you watch this movie. And then I watch it, and then the next time we get on stereo, we talk about it. And then he goes, oh, how about you watch this one? And then I watch it, and then we talk about it, and then rinse and repeat. I think that'd be kind of fun.
It could be a very fun idea, because I've been trying to think of things we can do on stereo.
Yeah.
That involves other people, and that, you know, because if we did it alone, it'd be, you know,
lame.
It'd be lame. You in another room talking on the phone. It's that's weird.
Yeah.
So
we'd have to we'll figure out a way to where we can both be on a microphone at once.
I think I can plug my phone into the Rodecaster.
It's 2021. There's got to be a way.
I'll figure it out.
I mean, when you watch stereo, Andrew's avatar is going to be the one that's talking, but you know, use your imagination.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Anyways.
You know, that's just what I was thinking in my brain.
But weird tangent. Let's go back to the comment that Christian Harloff made.
Wow, we didn't even touch on that?
No,
Damn.
we didn't.
Whoops.
So last episode.
Oh yeah, last episode I definitely made the assertion. I was because Andrew was like, SCN has kind of evolved.
Yeah,
it's a different kind of show.
Karloff made a comment on Hysteria that
fallen off the wagon a bit.
That I haven't been listening to the shows, and it's true that I haven't been involved in those ones, but I'm listening to him and Brett Sheridan every day.
Oh heck yeah,
and
I'm down
awesome.
for that.
I love that show, and it's like, I'm glad I got Andrew listening to the shows, and then Nicki comments, and
I was like, yeah, well, I don't think Christian listens to this show anymore. At me if I'm wrong, and then guess what happened? Not even an hour ago. I got added, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. So I guess I'm wrong.
So that was our day.
Ooh, I guess I'm wrong, and I'm embarrassed, and
Who else do you think?
It's a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Who else
Star
do you think
Wars
doesn't listen to this show?
The next logical person for me to say anything to is Sean Sullivan.
You don't think he listens to the show?
I don't know. I'm not sure. He definitely comments on Christian's tweet. And then Krista Todd was like, hey, you should call out Sean. And I went, okay.
So timestamp it, Sean.
I don't think Sean Sullivan listens to this show. So at me if I'm wrong, all right? You hear me? At me if I'm wrong. We'll see. And then a bunch of people that don't listen to the show actually will get really confused that everyone keeps tweeting me like, Dimmy, you're wrong, idiot. This would be kind of fun.
Sean, at Dimmy and timestamp it.
Yeah. You won't. You don't even listen to this show, I bet, right? Am I right, ladies?
Anyways. So how's your day going, guys?
So that happened.
I'm doing great. We had a great weekend. I mean,
we had a great weekend.
We visited friends for the first time. Long time. And we had felt refreshed. And then Super Bowl happens. Tampa Bay wins the Super Bowl. Oh, great weekend. And then it was crazy. Yeah, it was awesome. Andrew hates Tom Brady on a normal circumstances. He won my team a Super Bowl, so I can't hate the man anymore. That's the rules, right?
Hey, he brought my team to a Super Bowl and then spanked up on Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
Mahomes is great.
That's not right to say. He didn't spank up on Patrick Mahomes.
He spanked him.
Mahomes was throwing crazy things on that field.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just...
two of the best incompletions I've ever seen,
I know, man. He was throwing, crazy things. And then it was just like his teammates were just like, hey, man, sorry. They're going to sack you. I mean, hope you like getting sacked, bro.
Yeah.
So what are you
like
gonna
sack
do?
lunches?
You like sack lunch? He's a big one. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
When your offensive line is just like, well.
And his receivers are just having leftover Butterfingers from Halloween.
Yeah. So that's always our joke. It's like, hey, baby, Halloween's over. Why you snacking on Butterfingers?
What you got Butterfingers for? Anyways,
poor Patrick. I mean, 25. We've all been there, right?
He'll be back in the Super Bowl. He's got a long career ahead of him. I mean, the guy's worth $500 million.
Poor Patrick Mahomes and his billion. Sorry, Andrew will beep that out. Poor Patrick Mahomes and his $1 billion contract.
Somebody's had a few.
I've had a couple.
Okay. Anyways,
it's a Tuesday night. I don't know. I don't have much of an explanation. But, when you're making $1 billion, I don't feel bad.
Anyways, let's go back to this run.
Patrick Mahomes has got a very bright future ahead of him in the football realm. In the NFL. The National Football League. Yeah.
Anyways,
good job, Patrick.
Let's bring this back to the movie trivia.
You'll win one of these days. Wait, have they already won one?
Yeah, they won one. They won it last year.
I'm sure it's not the last one, Patrick. You'll do it. I'm sure you will.
Anyways, this isn't a football show.
This is a Schmoedown show.
Bringing it back to Schmoedown, we had a great weekend, and we could just keep getting all these announcements.
Oh my God, there's
matches. There's so many matches. So that's what today's conversation will mostly be about: is upcoming matches,
announced matches, if not totally.
Yeah, I mean, we won't give our full thoughts on them because we'll get to them when we get to them.
And also, every time we call a winner, it doesn't go our way.
Yeah, so we will not be making predictions. We're not. No. If you're going for Vegas odds with Beyond the Schmoedown, you're not going with us because we're apparently the kiss of death.
We're not making any calls here. We're just gonna say, hey, listen, these people are playing, and I like them both.
So let's go ahead and go over. Let's just run through the list, and then we'll just give our thoughts on whatever.
So this list that we have is credit to
The Reddit.
The Schmoedown subreddit. So if it's wrong, blame them. Because I noticed that they had like a little thing on the right hand side of their page that has like all the upcoming matches, and I'm like, oh, Andrew, look at that. Pretty cool. Yeah. It's a pretty condensed
and it worked
list
fast too, man. Like all these matches that were announced today.
It's a pretty exactly condensed list. They update it very frequently, so I took a screenshot. And if it's wrong, get mad at them, not me. So the first match that we have on here is the opening
debut match.
Pay-per-view.
Is this live? Does it say live? I imagine it is.
It doesn't, but I feel like I've seen that we're kind of not excited about live matches. There's so many things that can go wrong. I think there's logistics that go into it. It's very stressful, I'm sure.
I think if it's not a true live event, like, bringing people in, like, in the past, I don't think I think Christian.
Oh, yeah, like with the patrons and stuff. Yeah, you're right.
But I think he's wanting to lean away, not because he doesn't want people to see it live. It's just he'd rather put out a polished, finalized cut of the match, so everything moves smoothly. It doesn't.
I agree.
Like hiccups will happen, challenges will happen. It doesn't halt like the momentum of the episode of the match.
Like I can't imagine.
So I can't blame him.
I can't imagine the stress of like. Not even just Star Wars, but like a challenge and like having to do it when you know that like thousands of people are watching.
Yeah.
So, I agree. Like, I don't know. It's probably going to hinder the whole post-game patron interviews. Maybe they'll find a way to bring people in and just say, hey, listen, you got a non-disclosure here. Don't say who won.
We'll see what happens.
Kind of thing.
If it is live, then, that's great. But if it's not, I completely agree with... I completely understand and agree with Christian.
It's a really big production, and people nitpick everything, myself included. But, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So I totally understand if it's not live, and if it's marketed as live, you know what? You just enjoy the experience.
Yeah. So the opening event.
Yes. So the opening event, February 19th. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and say that the undercard is the number one contender match for Star Wars between Laura Kelly representing Swag. And she is going against Molly Damon of the Dungeon. Weird to say those two names with those two factions.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that they ended up where they ended up, but it's a new year.
So yeah, man. First release is February 19th, and then public release is February 26th. So
So it might be pre-recorded. I'm not sure.
Whatever category you fall into. But Laura Kelly versus Molly Damon, Star Wars number one contender match. First release February 19th. It's gonna be a good one because it's Molly and Laura are two absolute stars in the Star Wars league.
Very well-known names.
Absolutely. Beloved names in the Star Wars league.
Beloved personalities as well.
Two of the top ladies. We'll see what happens this year when Marie comes to contend. But, it's...
Or Nicki Dimalanta.
Don't gas me up like that because it's... Don't. I know my place. I know.
Shut up, stupid!
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's Marie, I understand I understand the pecking order, you know what I mean?
She's on your faction.
Exactly, which means that she's above me. The pressure's on her. So, yeah, we got Laura and Molly, two of the, I was going to say top, like, lady veterans, but they're, like, the only lady veterans.
In the Star Wars division?
In the Star Wars division.
That's true.
So...
Yeah. That have continued to play because we've had other female competitors in the Star Wars division. They haven't haven't returned.
Like we haven't seen Geek Girl Diva in a while. We haven't seen Jenny Nicholson since the debut Star Wars
of the Star Wars match. Yeah.
So Laura and Molly, they're sticking around, and it's going to be exciting to see them go head to head. People have been waiting for it for a while, so we'll see how that shakes out, and then. That's the undercard, the overcard,
the main event.
You will. The main event, February 19th. The IG Championship match. Chandru, the Chosen, Dandapani versus the brown dwarf star, Mara Kanape.
The amazing Mara Kanape.
Oh, no. What was that? Her like old name?
That's her own nickname for herself. We've had this discussion before.
Oh, let's do this over again. Chandru, the chosen Dandapani, versus the amazing Mara Kanopik. Chandru representing swag, of course, and Mara representing the dungeon. And as everybody keeps pointing out, as if they're the first person to notice this, is that both of the matches in this pay-per-view event, swag versus the dungeon.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna be crazy for those two factions. I mean, you got a number one contender match and a championship match. That's a lot of points on the table.
It's a lot of points on the table. I'm excited to see both of these matches.
Heck yeah.
Mara has been away for a year?
A year or two. Yeah.
I don't think ring rust will be a thing with her because she's a very intelligent woman. Within the Schmoedown and outside of the Schmoedown.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about that.
If you know Mara's background as a military, someone from the military, she worked on a freaking, what was it? A nuclear, not a submarine, but I think it was, a ship that was powered, and it was the Enterprise. It's go on.
Oh, yeah.
If you go back into the Collider videos and watch the one-on-one with Christian Harloff, it's an amazing listen because it's wow. You would look at Mara and oh yeah, geeky girl,
yeah, she likes Star Trek and stuff.
Yeah, it's I bet she's a graphic designer. Blah, blah. It's no, she's smart. She's very, very smart.
Smart beyond my even comprehension.
And it's just wow, unbelievable person outside of the Schmoedown. So, but I don't know how much ring rust will be a thing. The division has changed dramatically since she last lost that title. And Chandru looks very, very dangerous. He looks really good.
He does. It's hard to say because we've seen ring rust affect some of the greatest in the game. So you can't say that it's not a factor because it absolutely could be.
Yeah, and I think that she will be very well prepared going into this match because look at the faction behind her with Dan Murrell, Ben Bateman. You have Smets in your corner, who's not an active player this season, but he said he wants to help out as much as possible. Robert Parker's in your corner, so I think she's going to go into this very well prepared, and I think we're going to see two very good matches to start the season. I mean, if you're a geek, man, what a way to start the season.
My goodness.
So
it is. It's going to be a good day.
I'm excited for the 19th just to get this stuff going. And like I said before on the last episode, the next episode that following these matches, we're completely going to be spoiling them. So that
for sure. There's too many matches to be we're going to wait until it releases
till everybody sees it. No, we can't do that. If we do that, we're going to fall behind and just try to do all this extra work. It's best for all after shows to do it right away because then you're just going to be falling behind everybody in the space, and there's just a million of us now.
And we don't want to look like losers, you know what I mean? So we're going to keep up with it because we want to keep up with the pack, you know what I'm saying, babe?
All right, so the next match.
Coming for that award next year.
Not really.
No, we're not. So the next match actually says, well, it doesn't look like it has a first release date according to Reddit, but the public release, March 3rd, public release. We've got Amaru Moses of the Usual Suspects versus Jesse Swift of the Quirky Mercs. It's a house divided. It's the Mercs versus the Usual Suspects.
And if you weren't aware, this house is divided because we have a Merc and a filthy suspect.
A filthy suspect. You know what I'm saying, ladies?
I mean, this is fun. I'm excited to see how this shakes up. Just because of the dynamic that we have to have on the show now is because we're two factions.
And because they're two rookies. You have Amaru is definitely. I think he's a well-respected name in the fan leagues. I'm not sure if Jesse is. Sorry,
I don't know
if you're even listening. Doubt you are. But it's you don't really know what to expect from either of them because we've seen people from the fan leagues come in and you never really know. Nothing is guaranteed.
And we've both been on Zoom calls with our factions. We haven't done much when we were on the factions. I don't know how yours went, but ours was mostly just getting acclimated with each other, sharing not study tactics, not secrets, but like, hey, make sure we do this, this, and this. And I will say Jesse is very enthusiastic.
Oh, I could gather that myself, just from the Facebook group and Twitter.
He is the most enthusiastic out of our bunch, and
that's for sure.
He wants to prove himself in this in the league that he belongs, and I don't fault him. I was the exact same way when I came in. I'm like, I'm ready to go at it and stuff like, and who wouldn't be?
Who could blame him? You're excited.
But he has a lot of enthusiasm. I can't speak for his knowledge base because we didn't test him during that Zoom call. It's just us getting like, hey, here are the announcements that we have for you. This is what we have coming up, and that's when we started to branch off into our own little divisions. Because me and Eric can't really help the singles and teams and victims mostly. So we all sort of like we meet at each other, and then we all sort of backed off into our own corners and started helping each other out in our little realms.
So I don't remember who exactly are all of your IG players on the Quirky Mercs, but I'm sure that there are going to be calls between Jesse and the other IG players, whoever, to prepare him for this match.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see how it goes down because I've heard these two names for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how it shakes out between the two of them.
And this is probably the most we'll talk about rookies minus the Star Wars players because we don't know a lot about them. I mean, I can only talk about the interactions I've had with Jesse outside of you know what I mean, within our Twitter DMs, within our Zoom calls.
Very enthusiastic.
He's insanely
that goes without
enthusiastic.
saying.
If you need a hype man,
and Jesse's your dude.
The Jackal's your dude.
Oh yeah, the Jackal. I don't think I'll ever forget that that's his name because I've heard it 500,000 times.
I mean, what are your impressions of Amaru Moses?
I mean, you know what? At this point,
hopefully I said your name right. Sorry,
Amaru.
Amaru.
At this point, I've only been on one call with him. For all I know, there have been some IG calls in the in between, because there's no point in having like full faction calls every time. What's the point if I'm not gonna give? There's nothing that I'm gonna offer to any singles player or teams player. Maybe an IG player that I could help, but probably not, because a lot of the questions that happen in Star Wars aren't really gonna necessarily translate to IG, but maybe they could. So where was I going with that?
I don't know.
But
well, like, what do you get from Amaru?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What do I get from Amaru? He seems focused. He seems confident. He seems, and I don't know. I'm sorry. I just like absolutely slapped my microphone. He seems like, I don't know, kind of like a man of few words, maybe. Just kind of like let my gameplay do the talking. He wasn't like in our team chat, it wasn't like he was an overbearing presence. Nobody really was. But, he just kind of seemed like, hey, man, I'm here to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited just from that calm, cool, laid back demeanor and the fact that I've heard his name come up so much in the Facebook group and on Twitter, and whatever. I'm excited to see how it goes down because is Jesse part of the fan leaks? I don't know.
I have no idea. I
just know that Amaru is. So, these rookie matches are really just a toss-up.
Yeah.
You never really know.
Yeah, and this will probably be the most, that might be the most we talk about rookies because these are faction mates of ours.
Exactly.
So, and we can only speak for our little interactions that we already had with them.
Small ones.
Yeah.
So the next, right. So that was, March 3rd. Public release March 4th. A Star Wars match.
A Star War?
Star War.
I know a Star War.
Never seen it. Hope they're good. This match is between Sean Sullivan.
This one, yeah.
Saint Sullivan.
Doubt he listens to the show.
Corrupt. I don't know. We'll see if he listens. I don't know. Don't think I'm wrong here. But Sean Sullivan of Corruption versus Marie Wilson of The Usual Suspects.
Oh, man. And again, Sullivan falling that far was shocking. It was shocking. It was very shocking to me.
Very, very shocking.
It's like, yeah, you have all this hype behind these dragons, and this is a case where it's like a proven Star Wars commodity against a rookie Dragon Con player. It's the hype versus the proven. And
throw a little argument at you. A proven Star Wars competitor in Sean Sullivan, yes. But I know that there are people out there that would make the counter argument that, well, Marie is proven. She won Dragon Con.
and we had this conversation.
We've had this conversation many times.
We have many times, but we really touched on it last episode of this apparent divide between the veterans of this game. And Sean is, it's his second season, so you can count him as a Star Wars veteran because there's so little of us at this point, or up until this point, there were so little of us. And then the divide between rookies, and this is a prime example of that, of what Thomas Harper was hinting at. It's like the Dragon Con hype rookies versus the veterans of the division.
Yeah.
And this is not that this is like, oh, this is going to prove one side or the other. It's like, no, it's just this is a rookie's chance to make a name for herself.
Right.
And Sean,
And what I think is going to be interesting, because before every match, it seems that Christian or the Schmoedown Twitter / somebody on the Facebook group will make a poll like, who you got? Who do you think's going to win?
Yeah.
And, if I'm going to make a prediction of what I think the general public is going to say, I would not be surprised if a lot of people are like, well, Marie, duh, she just won Dragon Con, and Dragon Con wins everything, and Dragon Con, beats Alex every time, So I wouldn't be surprised if Marie wins that poll, but at the same time, I also would not be surprised if Sean wins this match, because I feel like Sean's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Yes.
And he's got some stuff to prove. He's going to be like, hey, listen, that first match of mine, that was off the cuff. I heard about that match the day of,
Yeah.
And the match against Laura Kelly, what are you going to do? Sometimes you just run into a rough day. So
he didn't have a rough day either, man. He had a good match. It's just you went up
he
against.
Just got edged out.
You got edged out by Laura Kelly, who played a perfect game.
Exactly. And, Laura Kelly is arguably one of the top players in the game.
And she's in a number one contender match to start the season. So
there you go. There's my evidence.
So, and I've said it before, Sean Sullivan is going to make an improvement, because look at the difference between his first match against Adam Witt and his second match in the tournament with Laura Kelly.
Yeah,
there was improvement there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
how much he's improved, this is going to be a big test for him. I know Marie has, she hasn't played this game, but that knowledge is there because she just won Dragon Con.
Yeah.
So how much you buy into that hype, we'll see. But again, we said it before, this game is different than Dragon Con.
It is.
So really, it's going to boil down to her. How acclimated is she going to be with the game? And I know faction mate of yours, I don't know. You don't even have to say anything in that.
I'm not giving anything away.
What the preparation is going to be like with her, but I think if Sean this is a statement match for both players.
I think so.
If Marie comes in and beats a 500 Star Wars player, which is rare up until this season. Before this season, it's very like Alex Damon lost his first match. I lost my first 2 matches. Laura Kelly lost her first match.
Molly Damon lost her first match.
Scrimshaw lost his first 3 matches.
Exactly.
So
it's not uncommon in the Star Wars division. I'm going to try to take solace in that for when my match comes up. You know what I'm saying, ladies?
To go into this division and come out your first season a 500 Star Wars player, that's something to hang your hat on.
Absolutely.
And if you come out and beat one of these people that the fans have put on a pedestal with the Dragon Con players, if Sean Sullivan beats Marie, it's going to be a statement for him.
A huge
statement. And he'll have all this hype on his side, like. You should. Why was I dropped down in the draft so far?
Yes.
This is why people were like, why were people down on me? I'm obviously a good player, and he is. He's a good Star Wars player. So this is gonna be very interesting. This is one of the Star Wars matches that I was excited to see. Like, were we gonna see one of the veterans go up against a Dragon Con player to start your season?
Because we've been talking about that. Like, who do you think this Dragon Con player will have their debut match against? Who do you think Thomas will go up against? Who do you think
that's
Marie,
what's gonna be interesting, because this is Harloff saying, all right, I'm buying into the hype of Dragon Con. I'm not putting you up against another rookie who we really don't know what their knowledge base is like.
I feel like they're in a different type of echelon.
Yeah, I think the Dragon Con players,
rookies, even though they're rookies, they're still kind of like...
Yeah, so like I think this is Harloff like, all right, I believe it, so let me put you in like not like the top 4 Star Wars, like, you know what I mean, the ones that are either going for the title or competing to get to a title shot.
Right.
This is a player that he is proving he knows his stuff. He's very familiar with the game. He's not a schlub at all. So this is like, I think this is the best that we could have gotten out of that without it being unfair for either player.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how this happens. I mean, I know who you're cheering for because of factions.
A house divided.
I don't have any skin in this game.
I'm not making any calls because if that doesn't go too well for us, but it's going to be an exciting match.
It's going to be a very exciting match.
There's just been so much chatter around the Dragon Con players, so I'm very excited to see how this goes down. And I know that Sean knows that he wants to prove something. So I'm excited to see him be able to flex his muscles and see how it turns out. And, factions aside, it's just going to be a very exciting match.
Yes. Excellent.
So,
yes.
Next one we got here. March 5th. Oh, we got a singles match.
Oh.
Vinny, the Ice Pick Mancuso versus Lady Justice, Marisol McKee. We got Swag Corruption.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Mancuso's on Swag now.
Big match, I think, because Marisol has, I think, so much pressure on her.
Oh, yeah, she does.
That if Vinny edges her out in this, I think it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, and I think Corruption, for the amount of picks they gave away in the first and the second, they came out really well in the draft. Because with your first pick in the third, you get what's his name back? Hoik. You get Hoik back, who's a monster. Then you go out and get your Star Wars player and Joseph Scrimshaw, who was available. I don't know what the managers were thinking to let Scrimshaw fall that far.
Yeah, that was bonkers.
And then you back to back with Sullivan. So your first couple of picks were not too shabby.
No.
So the Corruption is still looking pretty good. And I think these are two evenly matched players as far as how they performed last season.
I think Marisol is probably the favorite amongst the fans.
Yes. Yeah.
I think she has a lot of hype surrounding her. I think it's a really pivotal big match for her.
Yes. I think if she does not perform well, even if she wins the match but doesn't perform well, then it's like, well, what happened? Why you traded away this, blah, 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 and all the fans will start chattering away. I think that's the case.
I disagree.
I think that's the case.
I disagree. I think if she wins, no matter what kind of win, I think people are like, see, it's Marisol. She's amazing.
I don't think so. I don't
know. That's what I think is going to happen.
I think she needs to perform at a high level to validate the trade. Because if she misses a couple in the first, goes to multiple choice a couple times in the second, and then correctly answers all in the third, it's like, yeah, she played a good match, but it's like you need to blow the doors off of Mancuso to but with one match. Let me put an asterisk on this. With one match, you can validate this trade.
Yeah.
By blowing Mancuso out of the water. If she stumbles a bit, still wins, it's like, okay, then you got to pick up more steam in the next couple matches.
But to justify giving up 2 picks.
Exactly. She needs to blow the doors off in the next, if not this one, but the next following consecutive matches. If she doesn't consistently improve or consistently blow people out of the water, then it's like, okay. You know what I mean?
Well, because honestly, if we think about it, we've only seen her in a very small number of matches.
Exactly.
We saw her with Bonnie Somerville. Cool. And then we saw her against Paulo Oyama. She won. It is Paulo Oyama. Yeah. And then with the Deception, they had a win, right?
They had a win.
And they lost. So it's kind of like
exactly.
We'll see how it goes. So I don't think it's a landslide either way.
Yeah.
If we're making predictions here. So
yeah, that's why I say she needs to really perform in this match. With one match, if she doesn't perform really well, she hasn't validated that trade.
Yeah.
She can continue to do that with other matches, but if you knock out Mancuso in this, it's like, oh, that was a great trade for him.
So yeah, Swag Corruption yet again. So after that, oh boy, big match here.
Oh yeah.
Also a first release on March 5th. Big match. We got singles #1 contender match between Dan Murrow of the Dungeon. How weird is that to say? Versus Jeff Snyder of the Stars.
Gotta get used to saying that.
Yeah, I gotta get really used to saying that. Dan Murrow Dungeon, Jeff Snyder Stars. Singles #1 contender match. Oh my god.
This is fantastic. The runner up to the tournament of the singles tournament last season to the guy that just
vacated the belt.
Just lost the belt. So
and Jeff Snyder talking that big game. He's not the GOAT until he beats me. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
that's a big game to talk.
It is. I mean, you're talking about Dan Murrell. I mean, we just saw in the Super Bowl as much as I dislike the man and how much I love him now. Tom Brady, arguably, you can't argue. You can.
No,
It's pretty
I
much
don't
that.
care. You can't argue
It's the
anymore.
same argument with Dan Murrell. It's like, look what the man's done in the Schmoedown.
And
Come on.
forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
Has Jeff Snyder held the singles belt?
He hasn't. He's gotten close.
Okay.
He's competed.
He's gotten close. And
he's
then it's
competed against
very
Oyama for it.
respectable. He is one of the best in the game. There is no disputing that. But it's a big claim to be like, well, you're not the GOAT until you beat me, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited. It's interesting to look at this match from somebody who's not a part of the same faction as
Yeah.
either one of them.
Yeah.
For the first,
Yeah.
So, because last year it would have been like, oh, yeah, Dan Murrell all the way.
Yeah.
Because you're on the same faction. This year, you're not
I
on
got
the
no-
same faction.
got
as
no
either
skin
one of
in the
these
game
guys.
anymore.
No dog in the fight. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's kind of different. You know, so it's interesting. It's hard to say because Jeff Snyder was on fire last year. Dan Murrell, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know,
he's won every different way you can. He's lost every single way that you can. Being knocked out. You know what I
He's
mean?
seen and
He's
done
seen
everything.
So
the highest of highs and the lowest of
can't,
lows.
you can't throw anything at Dan Murrell anymore and surprise him. I should say. With Jeff, I've said it before after the couple of matches he had in tournaments last season. That speed round needs to be polished.
Bit.
It's different. I can't remember how he is with the buzzer round, but this new lightning round.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about early March.
Oh wait, that's right. I'm sorry.
If we're talking about early March, we're probably not going to be back in the studio by then. It's going to be the lightning.
But I'm getting ahead of myself with this because if it's a number one contender match, it's not a tournament final. Then it's a 3-rounder. So that one. So ignore me.
Shut up, stupid!
Yes,
Wait,
exactly.
I thought number one contender was 5 rounds. No?
Only the tournament final.
Oh,
Tournament finals and title matches are 5-rounders.
What an idiot I am.
So,
Don't
but
listen to me.
if he gets past Murrell, he's gonna have to worry about that. And also, he could study as much as he can. He can tell us how much he doesn't prepare. I don't believe it to a point, but there is that IG weakness of his. And now, from what I'm hearing,
And Dan's an IG player, or will soon be.
correct me if I'm wrong. People in the comments will correct me. I think I heard somewhere that there's no more IG slice for singles of teams. It's everything's broken up, and you could put every single different category on the wheel. That's interesting.
So,
I could be wrong.
so,
I heard this somewhere. I
If
think
Dan
Bibb said it.
Murrell was like, I want to put Harry Potter on the wheel,
Yes.
he could put Harry Potter and not just have to put an IG slice.
Yes, exactly. So he can
Oh.
and fantastic new rule
I
because
don't know.
the rule book has been released to the public. I think for at least the patrons.
least the patrons.
There's this new rule now. There's no more Kalinowski rule. If you put it on the wheel and then you just spin it, whatever. Now it's singles and teams, whatever. They can choose 3 different categories,
Right.
and the riders get to choose 2 of those. So
Right.
you really don't know which ones you're getting.
So if you're like really abusing one category, they could be like, hey, man.
Exactly.
Nope.
It's all up to the writers now. So Dan Murrell can just triple down and like, all right, IG category. No matter what you put on there, I know I'm strong in all 3.
Yeah.
And I know Jeff is not going to look at those at all.
Yeah.
So-
And then, I mean, usually in these types of matches, you don't see spinners and opponent's choice because it's like a.
That's title matches.
Title match
It will.
type of
It will.
thing,
I think it will
like-
be there for a number one contender match.
You think
though.
so?
I think so.
So, I mean, there you go. If there's 12 slices on a wheel,
Oh, yeah.
and then you got opponents, and then maybe 2 IG categories, and that's 3 out of 12. I
Hmm.
mean, that's, you got a pretty decent shot of
Yeah.
hitting something that's like, uh-oh.
So, those are my thoughts going in as number one contender match because there's clear weaknesses that Jeff has openly talked about.
And says, I'm not going to study.
And very honest about how much he's not going to look at them.
Yeah.
So there's that going into it, but
It's going to be a really entertaining match.
It
I
is.
can't wait to see it. I have no idea because Jeff had a spectacular season last season.
Oh, yes.
And Dan, he always plays
he
spectacularly.
always finds his way.
Spectacularly.
Yeah, he always finds his way back to the dance.
Yeah.
Whether he starts the season off with it or finds his way back to it,
It's Dan Murrell.
he's always finding himself in matches like this, and just competing for the title every season.
I don't think he gets even nervous for a number one contender match or like a title match. I think it's just like, it's a match.
So it's gonna be good, and they've never played each other, so that's another thing
That's
that
another
I'm
thing
really
that's
looking forward to.
Yeah. Because the whole thing about, like, well, he's not the best until he beats me. So it's like,
All
okay, I'm excited.
All right.
Okay, so the next match that we have, there seems to be a question mark for first release, but for public
I think we just stick to public release. Just,
March 10th, Saul of the Den versus John Humphrey of the Quirky Mercs for an IG match.
Did Humphreys win his first IG match? I can't remember.
The wrong person.
I can't remember, but
I couldn't even tell you who he played.
He was one of those competitors that just got thrown into IG, and just ended up doing pretty decently, I think. And Saul, I said he did well in his first match against Hannah. It's just Hannah edged him out that day, and I think Saul is hungry for it too, to prove that that wasn't indicative of like my play usually.
Yeah, and Saul's back on the Den, so he's probably like, let me prove why they drafted me again. Drafted? Signed.
Drafted. He wasn't a signed player. He was drafted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be excited because I would like to see how Humphrey does again, if he's brushing up on his IG stuff and how much he's working. Again, I don't know. I only interact with him a little bit on our calls. So, what a cool dude. I'll say that much.
Pretty jealous.
It was fun because I was on a call. Because I've been interacting with Bibiani before. Brendan Meyer we've interacted before.
So cool.
But I've never interacted with the Real Rage. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. And we became huge fans of theirs last season. I'm like, how? And now I'm on the faction with them. I'm like, oh man, this is awesome.
Seriously, so last season, I'm like, what is wrong with me that I've never noticed these guys enough? They're amazing.
Yeah, they were super cool to talk to. Yeah, but
only Corona wasn't a thing.
I think this is gonna be one of those where it kind of goes on the radar, oh, what, Saul and Humphreys, whatever. But I think it's gonna end up being a surprisingly good match.
Yeah, because wasn't the Kalinowski Greg Alba match not a total blowout?
No, it wasn't. So that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So you never know. People might be like, oh yeah, Saul's gonna take this one. It's a real reject.
You never know.
But you never know.
Yeah. So I think this one is flying under everybody's radar. It's like, oh, Humphrey, Saul, whatever. I'll watch it anyways. But I think this is going to be a better match that people will give it credit for.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I do hope so. And
I hope we get a fun entrance because I love both of Real Rich's entrances for the IG tournament last year. They're like, what, I'm playing IG? Okay. So I'm excited to see that. Next match. You got awkwardly quiet for a second.
Next match.
Should we do another?
I was taking a drink, and I'm making sure I'm trying to hide my label because we are so heavily monetized, and so we have such a gigantic following that I don't want to get us in trouble.
We've been getting a lot of traffic lately. I'm glad that we're getting more traffic than usual. So thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. The next match we got is Brother Lomas of the Finstock Exchange versus Frankie Alvarez of the Usual Suspects. This is a singles match.
It is. Frankie's not a rookie, is he? Is he?
Yeah.
He is? Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Again.
2 rookies.
Yeah, and again, we probably won't touch a lot on this one again because we don't...
It's hard to know.
But
I've definitely heard of Brother Lomas because,
Yeah.
When somebody kind of has a little bit of a gimmicky type thing, it's hard to not hear about that.
Yeah, and is this the Exchange's first match of the season?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
So this is interesting because the Exchange went all rookies, right? Minus a couple...
Apart from... Roca,
and
Barbarian, and JTE. I'm pretty sure everybody else
is a rookie, so
people brought up the point that, Sam Levine... has a very rookie heavy roster. So, it's not just Dagnino.
Yeah.
But Dagnino, I think apart from his 3 signed players, I think every else is a rookie.
One of them are rookies, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see these two, especially Brother Lomas, because I saw a couple of his videos on the Facebook group. I didn't watch all of them. I'm sorry if I didn't stick around.
So much content. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. But it's just especially for players like this, I'm interested to see how these rookies not only perform trivia-wise, but character work.
Yes.
I want to see if they fall into that thing that we've seen all rookies do is like, I'm gonna hit my character and
Real
this is
hard.
gonna hit it real hard. And then like people don't take to it as well because we said it before. Tom and Video Drew were the perfect examples of this. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know how much I like Video Drew right now.
Yeah.
Got her a couple more matches, worked on it, found that groove with the most perfect manager for her. Yeah. And I love the character work now. She's fantastic.
Yeah. When you come into the league with such a distinct character.
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to be careful it doesn't get in the way of your gameplay.
And also, not only is it a character like right off the bat, it's a character that he brought up on his own.
Yeah.
And Christian said, okay, sure. Because spoiler alert, a lot of the character stuff that, you know, that have experienced with, I didn't make all those decisions.
Yeah.
It was just Christian's like, hey, what do you think of this? I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah,
hey,
let's
man,
do it.
It's his show.
Yeah.
But like when you come in and you're like, Brother Lomas, you know, kind of got a preacher type thing going on, and I got this, you know, shtick.
Yeah.
So you gotta hope that it doesn't get in the way
of your knowledge.
Because when you're a rookie, you've never been in those bright lights, and even when you're sitting in, you know, your own house in a digital match,
you still feel the pressure. Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak from experience yet. God help me. But like, you know, I imagine being in a studio, being in your house, still pressure, but a different kind of pressure.
Different kind of pressure, yeah.
So when you come in with such a distinct character, it's like you got to be careful that you have the balance between your gameplay and your character.
Yeah.
And I think the emphasis should be on your gameplay because your character, we've seen people come into the game, like you said, Video Drew. And what our experience is probably different from some other people. There are probably other people that are like, were lashed on to Video Drew from the start.
Yeah.
But I know you and I were kind of like,
not great, but you know,
kind of weird, kind of not crazy. But then once she found her footing, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, now I'm on board. So I feel like the focus should be on gameplay, and the secondary focus should be on your character work. So we'll see what happens.
And I will say, it is something to say that Christian is trusting this person enough to like, yeah, this can work within the Schmoedown. It's like, all right, cool.
When you come into the Schmoedown with a pseudonym, like Brother Lomas, it's like, okay, well, you better be good. You better be good. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else comes in like first and last name. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Next match.
Next match, March 12th. We got, it's a big one. We got a singles match between Chance, the Cobra, Ellison of Corruption versus Brendan the Kid Meyer of the Quirky Mercs.
The fine, young tenderoni.
Which is a weird, I mean, I get it.
I'm so excited to be on this faction and Brendan is one of the big reasons. He's such a breath of fresh air, and like, oh man, who doesn't like Brendan Meyer?
He's such a pleasure to talk to.
And I think this is the matchup on paper. It's like, ooh, what? Man, and like when we talked about it in our, you know, and as like these matches are coming out and being announced, and like, you know, Quirky Mercs coming up and all these names, I'm like, why do we keep getting these big names?
I mean, when you got a big name, you get big names.
Exactly. And I thought about it.
We got William Bibiani. Yeah, he's going to go against Paul Oyama. Yeah. You got Brendan Meyer. Yeah, he's going to go against Chance Ellison. Yeah. So when you have a big name, you can only go against big names. So it kind of only makes sense.
In my head, I'm like, God, man, this is the beginning of the season. Why are we getting all these? Like, well,
kind of makes sense.
It makes sense.
I mean, when you're Shazam, you know, you're not going to get me in your first match. So
knockout.
Hey, man, William or Brendan, if you want a knockout, talk to Christian, get a match with me. I'll hook it up. You'll get a crazy knockout.
This is like when I heard about this, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a big one. It's It's going to be so
and
good.
Also, could you get two like more polar opposites?
Exactly.
In Chance, the Cobra Ellison of Corruption. I mean, heel faction of the year versus Brendan the Kid Meyer, the face it should be the Brendan Meyer Face Award.
The two-time Face of the Year.
It's going to be great. It's going to be so
And this
good.
is a rematch of when Corruption lost the belts to Shazam.
Oh, word. True.
So that's going to be on Chance's mind as well.
Yeah.
So so many storylines, and just the pure knowledge on display on this one is going to be so impressive because Brendan had a great year. Chance had an amazing year. 3 divisions, winning in all 3. Oh man,
wild.
I think he and I think also we know he's a fantastic teams player, former teams champion, former two-time team champion, competed for the IG belt, but the singles division is kind of like the thorn in his side, the elusive thing that just keeps just digging the knife deeper, that he just can't, for whatever reason, just can't get past that with the singles division.
Yeah.
So I think he might be really gunning for the singles division this season, and to start your season off against Brendan Meyer.
2 people that are on these 2 powerhouse teams looking to make an even bigger name for themselves in singles.
Yeah. And I think Brendan's sort of the similar boat too. Like, fantastic teams player, he won the belt last year. It's the singles division, especially in the tournaments, man.
Yeah.
He had some bad luck in tournaments.
That's why it's a fantastic matchup, because they both held the team's title, but neither has held the singles title, and they both come close.
Yeah.
They both are absolutely scary competitors.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would never want to be across the table from them. So I'm very excited. We're starting this season off crazy.
Man, there's you have some rookies matches peppered in, but then you get matches like this one. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, boy.
Can't wait.
So after that match, what do we have? Oh, we've got an IG match.
Ooh.
We've got, do the dates matter at this point?
Just do the public
Go
release.
on Twitter.
Go to
Jeez.
go to the public release.
So we've got Eric, Eric the Z-Man Zipper of Swag versus Brandon the Hitman Hannah.
Ooh, this is
on the Stars. An interesting matchup.
2 players that have to prove themselves, that have something to say.
Absolutely.
And I'll say it again. Eric Zipper got snubbed for a comeback player of the year.
I think so. Wholeheartedly.
Like, man, look at the man's improvement from one season to the other, and it's impressive.
It's very
impressive, especially, and another 3 division player. So he's got some really big value on his name.
I feel like he went from Eric Zipper to all of a sudden people talking about him like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the first pick overall.
Exactly.
So I absolutely think that he got snubbed. I do think he should have been in the conversation for comeback player of the year. Yeah. Absolutely.
Then
I could go on, but yes, I 100% think he should have been in the comeback player of the year. Yes.
Yeah. And then Brandon Hannah, who another 2 division player, I believe, because he played in teams last season, and he also played in the IG tournament.
He was part of Category 9, Hurricane Joke.
Yeah,
Jader.
And then he loses to Alex Neyman in the tournament, and I feel that he's a little salty after that loss, because then Alex goes on to be knocked out by...
Is Brandon ever not salty?
That's true. Yeah. But I think he's in this mode to make a statement. This
me,
season.
Brandon. Doubt you're listening.
No, but I think Brandon wants to prove something this season. Like, hey, look, I'm here to take that title away from Chandru, because he beat Chandru before.
Yeah.
So
in that 5-way or whatever.
Yes, that fit, and I think it was his debut.
Yeah.
And Chance was there as well. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this is a very, when you look at it on paper, it's another one where the more casual Schmoedown family, like Brandon Hannah versus Eric Zipper. Okay, cool. But then you look deeper into these 2 competitors' history. It's going to be a interesting match. I think it's going to be a really close match, because Zipper did really well in that tournament too.
Swag Stars.
Yes. Ooh, yeah. Roxy versus Winston. You know how heated those matches can get. So,
yeah.
I'm expecting a good match between these 2. I'm expecting Zipper to make more improvement this season, and Hannah as well. I think Hannah hits the books, and he and I believe in another competitor, which I think look into his out of the Schmoedown involvement. I think he's a really smart dude too, right?
Hannah?
Hannah. He's an engineer or something, like an electrical engineer or something like that.
I think he's an engineer. I'm not sure what kind.
Smart dude.
But I know that he has some kind of periodic table type of podcast. So I think I think he's like he's a smart dude,
like a real smart dude
outside of movies.
Yeah.
So
smart dude that just happens to know movies. So that's a dangerous combination.
He's like the Pym, Hank Pym. There you go. Hank Pym of the Schmoedown. Yeah. Ant-Man. Brandon Ant-Man Hannah.
He's the hitman, so yeah.
The Ant-Man. So the next one we got. Star Wars match.
Ooh.
Woo, baby. Boys and girls. We've got Lacey Gillerin of the Den versus Gold Leader of the Finstock Exchange, also known as Evan Bushkar, I think is his name.
It's a real name, yeah. Is Gold Leader the guy that's been...
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to make sure before
Gold Leader, put some respect on my name, even though I'm a rookie.
Yeah, that guy. So, another one that we won't be able to talk a lot about, because two Star Wars rookies, obviously, what's her name? I already forgot her name.
Lacey.
Lacey talks about Star Wars all the time, because he's a part of Star Wars Newsnet. They do a podcast every freaking week talking about Star Wars. And then it's hard not to hear Gold Leader.
Hard not to. And I also feel like I saw a tweet or a Facebook post where somebody was like, well, Laura Kelly actually ran into Gold Leader on a Trivia Nation thing. She was really impressed. And it's like,
hey, man.
Cool.
I mean,
we'll see how it translates.
I've never played one of those. I don't know how difficult the questions are.
Same.
So
I don't know.
We'll see if that translates to the Schmoedown.
I don't know the structure because honestly, I tried to get involved in a Trivia Nation thing one time, and I emailed them, and they never emailed me back. So I'm like, hey man, screw you guys. I don't even want to be part of your Trivia Nation. You don't answer my emails. I don't answer your Star Wars questions.
I'll just compete in the Schmoedown.
I'm just gonna Schmoedown will ask me questions, so that's where I'm gonna compete. Jerks. Can't even answer my friggin' email? Cool. Thanks. I asked you one question. And they're like, sorry, peace. I'm going to ghost your butt.
So
idiots.
So this will be interesting because, again, I want to see what these rookies are made of. I want to see where they fall with their knowledge. And can they cut it in the Schmoedown? Because... spoiler alert, I wasn't amazing in my audition. I've come so far since my audition.
Yeah.
I've learned lessons along the way, and I've improved where I can. I didn't start out the way I am right now.
I remember one question where Christian was like, if you miss this, I'm ending the call right now. And I was in the other room like, oh my God.
If you talk to Christian in as much as I don't know how much he'll say, but I wasn't Andrew the Hunter Dimalanta in that audition. I was nervous.
Yeah, man, of course.
I studied for it. Yeah, I prepared for it, but I was nowhere near the competitor I am now. So,
and I'm sure he would say the same thing.
And that's something for the rookies to take note of. If you lose your first match, it's not the end.
Good. Noted.
Almost every single Star Wars competitor lost their first match. Good. So
Good to know. Okay, thank you.
So if you lose your first match, it's not like the end all. There's plenty. There's rumors of 2 Star Wars tournaments this season, so you'll get your opportunities. So I'm interested to see where they fall with the knowledge and how they stack up within this game. So.
Yeah, because it's not like we're saying, oh, we're dismissing all the rookies. It's just I don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
All I know is what I've seen you say about yourself in Facebook or what I've seen you say about yourself on Twitter. That's all I know. Mm-hmm. I don't have any game tape on you. Mm-hmm. I don't do Trivia Nation because they don't answer my emails. So,
So that's gonna be fun to watch. I'm always excited for new blood in the division. I'm always excited to see new competition and new challenges to be thrown at me.
Yeah. So. Good job, Trivia Nation. So the next match we have is a singles match between Jader, the Hurricane Paramo of the Den, versus Janine, the Machine of the Stars.
Yes, that's right. This is good.
Very exciting.
This is good. And Jader, another one of those players that your mic's getting. Let's keep moving.
Sorry, I've been playing with it.
But Jader, I'm speaking as somebody that was a fan, hardcore fan first, turned competitor. it means a lot to you to improve and to prove that you're not just like, yeah, I watched it and I
like
play
the Schmoedown.
Yeah,
and I think I can.
Now that you're a competitor, you want to prove yourself.
Yeah.
You want to continue to improve. You want to impress everybody and like, it wasn't a mistake bringing me in.
Yeah, I got my rookie season out of the way, and that let me find my footing.
Yeah, exactly. So and Janine's a comparable opponent for him. I think this is a very good match. Janine, like. I'm always been a fan of Janine the Machine. I've always wanted to see her succeed in this division in the league, and she's hit some big road bumps, big speed bumps along the way, and now I think she's starting to get back in the winning ways, and and this is a logical step for both of these competitors.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how this shakes out. It's for both of the competitors. I love to see Jader succeed in this league because coming from somebody who was a fan first.
Central Florida.
Jader. She's in
oh.
Miami.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
We had this conversation before. Rep Florida, son. Rep Florida.
Well, at least you're in the same state. Good job, Jader. But also Janine.
Yes.
Because you just want to see her succeed.
Yeah.
Because she's a great person. She's a great player. So it's going to be... I think it's a well-matched
it's a very even
match.
Yeah, it's a logical placement for this, like, because sometimes the matches come up, it's like, how does that work? Like, I don't see, this is one's like,
okay, I can see that.
I can see that. I see why, because of rankings and stuff like that. I can see why these two are going up against each other.
Yeah.
It's a very, very evenly, not evenly, like, not, I don't know, like, they're knowledge-based, but, like, records-wise and rankings-wise, I think it makes sense. So excited to see where this heads up, and I think it's going to be a very good match to watch as well.
Yes. The next match. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
What's the next match, baby?
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I think there's only 2 matches left. I got myself some kind of a duplication.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 matches left, and it's a pay-per-view.
A throwdown, is it?
It's a throwdown.
Oh, it's a throwdown.
Big one. So, the undercard. Oh, man, if you can even call this an undercard, because
this
holy
could be a main
goodness,
event
this could be a main event. We've got William the Beast Bibiani of the Quirky Mercs.
Oh, the Mercs?
The Mercs versus Paul Primetime Oyama of Swag.
Oh man, another one. I was like, why are we keep getting these big names? Oh wait, it's William Bibiani.
You're getting big names because it is a big name. It's William Bibiani. What do you expect?
Somebody commented on Twitter or something like, "Oh, this is the first time where I 100% can't predict what's going to happen" or something like that.
Absolutely.
Because this is a toss up. This is an absolute toss up.
I mean, you've got.
I mean, it's obvious.
You can make the argument that Oyama is a veteran player at this point, but William Bibiani, veteran.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He used the word that I'm like, wow, how do you get that status? He's a legacy player at this point.
Yes, we were talking about that.
It's like, how do you classify a legacy player? I mean, obviously you have like the Rushmore people like, Jeff Snyder, John Roca, Dan Murrells, and all those players. Rachel Cushing, a legacy player. Exactly. Like, how do you reach that status?
Yeah.
Because I'm a veteran player. This is my 3rd season. How do you get to legacy player? So, I mean, man, 2 former champions. Ooh, man, come on. I think in this throwdown, there's only 1 non-champion in this throwdown. And you're looking right at him.
Oh, geez, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Wait, spoilers.
Sorry.
We haven't gotten to that.
Sorry, but we'll get to that in a second. But, like, this match is like, oh, my God, who do you pick? It's pick'ems. Like, who do you pick? I know who I'm cheering for. I know exactly who I'm cheering for. But if you're looking at this outside of the faction, you're probably the only person in this room right now that can speak to this non-faction wise. So
that is true. Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's really hard because I know who I'm pulling for, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to put that into the universe and jinx anybody. But this is a hard one to call because they're both absolute titans in their own, in their own way.
Mm-hmm. And I also know that William is William. Wow, that was weird. I'm sorry,
I also know that William is going to do very well.
Also know Bibiani is going to have to look out for the IG categories because Oyama competed in the IG tournament last year, and that's something that I think he wants to do more of. I would be surprised if he wouldn't want to, So that's something that I think Bibbs is gonna have to look out for.
Yeah.
So, he almost got that in his pocket, but Bibiani, man, has he not seen anything?
There's a reason why his name is the Beast.
Yeah, because he is.
Because he is, and we are at some point in the very near future going to be ordering soaps off of his Etsy shop.
I'm so excited for that.
I think we're going for the lavender one.
Yes.
And I think we might be going for the one that looks like a gemstone.
We got to get on the lavender one because they have a limited supply of that.
That's my favorite one.
We got to get on that. We order it tonight, baby, because I want them. I want those soaps.
That lavender one looks really good.
It's Etsy.
It looks like a little galaxy.
What's their Etsy store called? It's Etsy.
Oh no!
I want to help advertise it for you, Bibbs.
Hold on. If we can hold on, everybody, just hold on to your butts. Etsy.
It's like
Salt Cat.
Salt
soap.
Cats.
It's called Etsy. Wait, am I on the right one?
Yeah.
Yes. Etsy.com/shop/Salt Cat Soap. Go buy some freaking soap. Get yourself clean. They've got some beautiful soaps. I'm going for that lavender amethyst bar. 8 people have this in their cart. I'm going to beat them to it. They've also got the fur emerald bar. 3 people have this in their cart. Screw those people. I'm going to get that one. And they've also got the macarons and the oops breakup bar. But I don't want to get the breakup bar because we don't plan on breaking up anytime soon. And I feel like that'd be just weird to buy that.
We have a kid and boom, I got to stay.
Ooh, yeah, you're trapped, buddy. And then they've also got the stone bar. 8 people have that in their cart.
Is that the one with the 3-level?
It looks like...
Yes, that's the one I want.
8 people have this in their cart. Screw you guys. I'm going to put it in my cart before you. Well, no, it's already in their cart, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, Salt Cat Soap.
At Etsy.
Go check them out at Etsy.com. I'm absolutely 100%. It's just a matter of when
you hit the buy button.
Hit the transaction button because I'm going to have that soap in my cold dead fingers. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna happen.
It is. So yeah, but this match, back to the match, it's gonna be
just as dramatic as soap buying. It's gonna be a big one. So
looking forward to it. But
the next one, actually, and there are still 2 matches, but the next one, that was the undercard for March 19th. The overcard. The main event. The main event is a big one, my dudes and ladies and everybody. It's Alex Damon of the Stars versus Andrew Dimalanta of the Quirky Mercs for the Star Wars Championship match.
Who that? Who that?
I think it's this guy right here.
Oh, it's this guy right here.
So according to Christian Harloff on SCN, which we absolutely listened to, he said that Alex Damon opted for the 1v1.
The head-to-head.
Who knows? Things can change. I don't know. I don't feel like anything is final until the moment it happens.
But yeah, according to Harloff, he opted out of the triple threat and he wants it to be a one-on-one. And thank you, Alex. That's what I wanted too.
Yes.
So mark your calendars. It's a 1v1. We're getting Demon. Wow, like you blowing on the mic is like, what? The AC is getting on real hard.
I was just trying to
calm myself
because it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. We're getting it. We're getting Dimalanta Damon 1v1 for the Star Wars title.
Unless something changes last minute.
I don't think it is. It seems the decision has been made that he doesn't want a triple threat. He wants a 1v1. 1v1 me, bro.
At me, bro.
Meet me on Cash. Snipers only.
If you guys didn't get that joke, it was a Counter-Strike Global Offensive joke because that's a game we play with our friends, and Cash is a map that you can play on. So, anyways,
yeah, I'm just as shocked as anybody else that
I could have literally 95% chance I would have bet all my money that it was going to be a 3-way.
Yeah.
But you never know. It could be one. But the way that Christian announced it on SCN, it seems like Alex was like, I made my decision. It's going to be a 1-on-1, and then we'll discuss who wins the #1 contender match after the fact.
Yeah. So Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, nothing seems to be set in stone in the Schmoedown, but it seems to be that way according to the announcement that was made on SEN.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man.
Yeah, it was
March 19th. Damon Dimalanta.
It was surprising because I was fully preparing for a triple threat.
I fell out of my seat when I heard that.
Yeah, I was like, all right, so I guess I'll just prepare. I'll prepare the way I've always been preparing, but I'm just gonna have to mentally prepare myself for a triple threat match to have this other person other than Alex.
That's what
Damon.
I was thinking.
I was thinking, but I guess Damon had other plans. Maybe he's thinking points, or him and Roxy are thinking it's more beneficial to do it this way for more points, more matches. Because he gets the automatic rubber.
Absolutely.
And no matter how the match turns out, he still has another match after that because of who wins out of Molly and Laura.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm ready. I've been ready for the past 6 months, and it's going to be coming fast. We have very little time to prepare. A month seems like a long time, but it's going to be like.
But it's also going to pass like that.
It's going to pass like that. The way that things have been working, and so we've been doing work in the off season. Even like I said it before, we gave it a week, got right back into it after my lost Ace.
I don't think there exists any other content in the world that isn't Star Wars.
I don't think so either.
At this point in my life,
we watch WandaVision, but that's it.
I don't watch anything else. So. What's WandaVision? Am I right? I'm kidding. That last episode was pretty rough for me. But in any case, Star Wars is the only thing, right?
Yeah. So I also know that Alex has said that like his preparation for each match is different, and that preparing for me is going to be different and probably more intense. So we'll see what happens. I'm fully prepared going into this. I love the faction that I'm on right now. I came out of, free agency, like, did I make the right decision? Then I had conversations. Then we had the meetings. And then we had more conversations. I'm like, this is the right faction for me. This is where I want to be. And I think it benefits me.
Yeah.
So feeling real good and fully prepared for Alex Damon. Bring it on, Demon. Bring it on. It's gonna be a match.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be a match. I'll give you that much right there.
Let's move on to the next match before I get uncomfortable. The next match. Oh wow, this is an interesting. It's familiar. It's Alex Damon versus Craig the Barbarian. It's Alex Damon of the Stars versus Craig the Barbarian of the Finstock Exchange IG match.
So this is interesting because I don't think there's been a release date for it yet.
No, it's question marks all around.
I think they're waiting for is because if Alex loses the title, he gets the automatic rubber. So I think they're holding this off until they see the outcome of the throwdown.
Right.
So because it's that's a lot of pressure on Alex. So like, all right, that's like, all right, title match. All right,
IG match,
an IG match, and then maybe another Star Wars match, depending on how the Star Wars match happens. So, I know I was on faction with Barbarian last year, and I was telling him that he's crazy. Like
he's insane.
He is insane with his preparation, and I think he's focusing a lot on IG this next season. Even though his wheelhouse is singles and teams, we don't know how long it's going to be till we see teams. And his path is this a number one contender match? Or no,
it's IG.
Actually, no. I think the winner of this faces Mike Kalinowski for a number one contender match. I could be wrong. I heard that somewhere.
Maybe it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense. So the path to an IG title for Alex Damon at this point is shorter than most.
And I think that this is a pretty well matched.
It is. It is because again, Barbarian, his first instinct wasn't IG last season. It was singles. And he did pretty well in IG last season.
Yeah. So,
and the amount of preparation he does for everything is going to be insane. So I think he's going to be ready for Alex Damon. We could see Alex lose more matches than we're used to seeing him lose this season.
Yeah, who knows?
Regardless of the division.
Yeah.
So, because he lost one match last season. And it was to a legend in Mike Kalinowski in IG.
That's true.
So,
That's very true.
So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a very interesting season for Alex Damon because not only does he have to defend the title against me, and then he has to turn around and compete against another beast.
Exactly.
And
then
Craig.
there's potentially 1 to 2 Star Wars tournaments. Like it's gonna be a wild season.
You're gonna see a lot more of Alex this season.
I think so.
Outside in Star Wars and outside of Star Wars.
I think so.
So that's gonna. I don't know when. I think that they're just waiting to see how my match with him pans out before they schedule this.
I agree.
Because it'd be way too much. It's like, all right, you just competed in a really big championship match. Turn around, idiot, and compete in IG against another monster.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot to put on his plate, and I'm just we'll see when it airs. But yeah.
And the last one that we have on here is a big match between, it's a team's #1 contender match between Shazam of the Quirky Mercs versus Final Exam of Swag.
Ooh, this is a rematch.
God.
This is a rematch of the last #1 contender match. And we know how that turned out. And then we know what happened with the next match with Shazam taking it all. So there's so much storyline, so much hype on this match. This is the second time they're competing against each other.
Mercs versus Swag.
Mercs versus Swag. You know who I'm going for, who I'm cheering for, I should say. And God, Shazam have lost what, 2 matches?
Yeah.
In their run.
Something like that.
And Final Exam is pretty similar, I believe. Two heavy hitting teams, and is there a release date for that?
No, well, no.
Yeah.
No, both the first release and the public release are question marks.
Yeah, so I think this is another one where we have to wait because who knows if we're gonna get teams again.
Very true, because of digital and all that.
I think this
stuff.
once we do get into the comfort of doing teams again, I think this is the first one we see.
Yeah,
and what a way to start it
This
off.
is a huge one. Shazam, Final Exam.
Yeah.
This is a huge match.
This is a late match season. I'm like, well, we get to start it early.
A #1 contender match between these 2 heavy hitting teams.
Yeah.
It's gigantic. So I'm excited. I like you said, I don't know. It could be a while before we see it, but it's exciting that we're going to see it at some point.
I think this is
hopefully.
just Christian saying this is one of the team matches that we're guaranteed to see.
Right.
So the first one that either of these teams get to play is a #1 contender match.
Right.
So it's going to be a good one. We don't know when it is, but I'm anticipating a good match.
Get vaccinated.
Yes, please.
Please.
Whenever you're available to get it, please get vaccinated, but continue to wear your masks as well.
Also that.
Yeah. Social distancing. Even though if you are vaccinated, you can still spread the virus.
You still need to be careful.
Yes.
Please.
Anyways.
I want to be normal again.
Yes. We felt real normal this past weekend.
Oh my God. We saw 2 of our best friends it was a husband and wife. 2 of our best friends.
Our
daughter's godparents. And we hung out with them this past weekend, and I've never felt...
We were safe about it, though.
I've never felt more like a human in the past year than when I hung out with these 2 individuals and their 2 children. Oh my God. It was the most mundane, like, we're just hanging out with buddies, but it was so amazing.
We felt like the world was back to normal. It was
driving home, I was like, I feel like a new person. Like, it's so sad.
So wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance, get the vaccine if you can, and maybe we'll all get there.
Maybe.
And then we can get back to teams matches.
Please. Maybe we'll get back to studio matches and we can hang out and go to bars afterward.
Ah, yeah.
Remember those times?
Nah, I remember. You remember?
We've only gone to a couple of those, but my God, they were fun. Remember? I remember. Anyways. We ran longer than I expected. Man, I thought it was going to be a short episode today. Boy, was I wrong.
My country.
Oof.
Greedo.
Anyways, I think we'll end the episode here. It was a good episode. Lots of fun discussion. So
many matches.
You
can find me.
Yeah, you cut me off. Didn't Nicki
on
rewind. Stop it. Let me lead into it, please.
My bad.
Star Wars competitor Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
That's embarrassing. You can find me on Twitter at Dimmy. IMMMYYY at twitter.com. Follow me there and I'll say things on the internet.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. If you're listening to this on audio form, please follow the feed. Follow the feed and rate us if you can. I'm starting to feel it.
And if you're listening to us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. There's a link, a bell over there in the lower right corner of the screen. Click that, see when we do things on YouTube.
It's actually below the screen, but
oh, God.
They don't actually click on the little graphic that we just put up there. It's underneath next to the subscribe button, but nevertheless, hit those buttons.
What am I going to do now? Oh, God, guys, please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. In the lower right-hand corner, but not exactly in the right-hand corner, below the right-hand corner.
Below the screen, yes.
Please,
Anyways,
sorry.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. We'll see you next time.